At 7 years old, you discover your first superpower. You can cry on command. Not a tiny glittery tear gently rolling down your cheek like a Hollywood actress. No. You unlock full Category 5 hurricane crying. The kind with snot, hiccups, shaky breaths, and the emotional intensity of a main character whose entire village just burned down. And your parents? They don't see trauma. They see business. One afternoon, you're pulled from your snack, dressed in your funeral-appropriate shirt, the only one without cartoon characters, and dragged toward a stranger's burial. Your mom leans in and whispers, "Listen carefully." Their family wants drama. You are the drama. You barely understand English, but you understand tears. Someone says, "Cry for Mrs. Adaku," and instantly you let out a wail so powerful, even the widow grabs a chair for support. By the end of the day, the family presses money into your mother's palm, like you're a walking ATM of despair. Congratulations. You've just been formally introduced to the sacred, chaotic, and extremely exhausting profession of paid mourning. You spend your childhood surrounded by tears, but not the normal kind. You learn the genres of crying. There's the soft, "lost my goat" sniffle. The dramatically tortured, "the will didn't favor me" scream. The suspiciously loud, "I didn't really know this person but want people to think I did" wailing. And the premium tear collapse, dropping to your knees so convincingly that people sprint toward you like you've just taken a bullet. By age 10, you can cry louder than a broken generator. By 12, you can produce tears faster than a leaking pipe. By 13, your vocal cords file several emotional HR complaints. But the money is decent, your reputation is rising, and everyone in the neighborhood calls you the sorrow siren. Life is manageable. Then comes your first real challenge, funeral regulars. These are the people who attend every funeral in town, not for grief, not for closure, number. They attend for gossip, snacks, and social positioning. They remember faces like hawks analyzing prey. One day, mid-wail, you lock eyes with a familiar-looking woman. Her face narrows. She squints. She whispers to her neighbor, "Wasn't that the same girl crying at Uncle Raphael's funeral 2 days ago? And Auntie Bola's yesterday?" Panic. You do the only thing you're trained to do, cry harder. So hard, she steps back like you've summoned an ancient spirit. Crisis averted. Barely. But competition? Oh, competition is the true villain of your story. At every funeral, there's always that one professional mourner who sees your existence as a personal insult. You're mid-performance when a woman beside you throws herself to the ground like she's reenacting a mythological Greek tragedy. You softly clutch your chest. She responds by screaming loud enough to wake the coffin occupant. You stagger dramatically. She throws herself on the coffin lid like security will have to remove her. You glare. She glares. It's an emotional war zone. By the end, she walks home with bonus pay. You walk home planning her downfall. By 16, the job becomes more advanced. You no longer simply cry, you take requests. We want the "they meant everything to me" package. Tears, screaming, a soft faint, nothing too wild. It's a Christian burial. Or, "This is an Igbo funeral. Volume is key. Give us thunder," or "We want classy crying." Tears only, no rolling, no collapsing, no screaming. Pretend you're crying in a luxury perfume ad. Elegant crying. What a concept. One day, a wealthy family hires you. Full dramatic package. You're performing award-winning sorrow. Wails so rich they should have a Grammy category. And you notice someone filming you. Before you can panic, the video spreads across social media faster than bad news. Headlines appear. Who is this woman crying at every funeral? Why is she at more burials than the priest? Is she okay? Your aunt calls, worried. Your ex calls, apologizing for ever hurting someone so emotional. Your landlord calls, asking if you'll cry at his uncle's burial for rent discount. You become a meme, the internet is undefeated. Historically, you're carrying an ancient torch. Professional mourners date back thousands of years. Biblical Israel had them. Egypt had them. Rome hired teams. China had full-scale wailing guilds for over 2,000 years. Victorians loved them so much they hired mourners, dressed in black lace to walk dramatically behind coffins, like Gothic runway models. And almost everywhere, the louder the crying, the more important the dead supposedly were. Some mourners tore their clothes, Some clawed their faces, some beat drums, some screamed the deceased's name so loudly, the neighbors thought Judgment Day had arrived. You, unknowingly, are part of a tradition older than half the world's cultures. But history doesn't prepare you for the real dangers. You're mid-cry at a funeral when someone smacks you on the back yelling, "Be strong, sister," nearly knocking you into the grave. Another time, a grieving uncle hugs you so tightly, your spine nearly files for permanent disability. Once, an elderly woman collapses onto you mid-wail, and you have to cry louder to distract from the fact that you are suffocating. The worst is when someone tries to comfort you, stroking your head gently, whispering, "Don't cry, my child." Ma'am, I am literally crying professionally. But the money isn't always good. Some families pay well. Others argue the spirit told us you volunteered. Some insist you wash dishes afterward as part of the service. Some try emotional blackmail. "You cried so beautifully for my sister. Please cry for my husband's burial too, for free," for emotional continuity. As if your landlord accepts continuity as rent. As you reach adulthood, your reputation becomes legendary. Funeral planners treat you like a celebrity. You get pre-booked for weekends. Strangers greet you in the street. "Auntie, cry, cry. Do the thing." You pretend you don't hear, but you did, loudly. You now cry at 4 to 5 funerals a week. Your tear ducts are running overtime. You could probably fill a swimming pool at this point. Eventually, burnout hits. Your face hurts, your eyes sting, your voice sounds like a retired motorbike. You lie in bed one night and think, "Do I ever cry for myself?" But you don't have time to answer because someone has already booked you for Saturday morning. Then comes a turning point. You're at a funeral doing your routine wail when suddenly something unexpected happens. You feel real sadness, not for the deceased, but for yourself. For the years, you've swallowed your real emotions and replaced them with rented ones. For the exhaustion, for the absurdity, for the pure emotional fatigue of crying for strangers more than you've ever cried for your own pain. You let out a cry so raw, the entire family gasps. They think it's performance. They thank you for your passion. They even give you a bonus. You take it. You go home. You sleep 12 straight hours, and the next morning, your phone rings. Another booking, another burial, another family, another performance. Another day of selling sadness like it's a product on a shelf. That is your life. You are a professional mourner, an emotional stunt performer, a weeping consultant, a grief contractor, a descendant of an ancient, chaotic profession that refuses to die. And honestly, it absolutely sucks.